What? Hope everyone's doing okay. It's a day, isn't it? So let me see here. Have you ever owned a Lego Harry Potter set or minifigures in your life? No, I was well out of Lego by the time Harry Potter was the thing. Not that I was ever that big into it anyways. Are you familiar with the band Oasis? Yes, I'm familiar with them. Not deeply, but yes. I'm assuming that's a lead-in to a follow-up question. Do you own a Fez? I do. I don't. Yeah. No. Oh, I've actually got two. The one that I use when I do the 11th Doctor is upstairs in my closet, and I've got this one. Let's see. I listened to the Doctor Who Meets Lovecraft story I told you about. Best part was when a mixed-race, pansexual, non-binary character told him how terrible he is. Okay, I may have to bump it up my list of things to try and get to. What are your thoughts on Hocus Pocus? It's fine. I'm gonna tip that up just a little bit. I mean, I don't have the same level of nostalgia for it. A lot of people my age do, but it's fine. How's Trix? Also, my sister's with me, and her favorite character from Buffy is Riley. Put her down. Okay, look, I don't know your sister, so I'm not gonna say anything against her, but I am confused. Like, very confused. I mean, I'll grant you he's a nice guy who you can take home to meet your parents, but, like, he's boring. Did you hear about the Owl House? That show shattered LGBTQ glass ceiling on Disney. I had heard. I haven't watched it, and I don't know the details of it, but I am aware that it's a thing. The follow-up question being, do you prefer British entertainment more than American entertainment? I don't reliably favor one over the other. I take in a fair amount of British stuff, but I don't consider myself like an Anglophile or anything like that. So, if you have Disney Plus, have you seen the Howard Ashman documentary? I do have Disney Plus. I have not seen it. I hope to soon. Are you buying the Blink House? No, I don't quite have that level of Patreon funding yet. Are you a fan of drag? Not really, but for reasons separate from drag as an art form. I performed in drag for a while before I discovered burlesque, so I have a lot of personal baggage around drag that, you know, it's the reason I don't particularly enjoy it. Actually, let me back up. I like watching a drag king more than a drag queen, broadly speaking. The Nightmare Before Christmas or Corpse Bride. Depends on how musical I feel. Nightmare Before Christmas has much better music. Corpse Bride has a better story. Or at least it tells its story better, I think. Do you plan on doing any more DC animation reviews, or have you written them off after Reign of the Supermen? I haven't written them off, I just haven't gotten to them. Just rewatched Rocky Horror Picture Show with my mom, and all the songs are stuck in my head. Those are good songs to have stuck in your head. She just hit me. You may have brought that one on yourself, you know. I started experiencing Neil Gaiman's Sandman. I was not ready for 24 hours. I have that as well. Like, trying to find time for this stuff is difficult. I was recently on a Drag Race binge, and your shirt had me quoting Bianca Del Rio, not today, Satan. I did 4 seasons of Drag Race. After that point, I bailed because the backstage was getting a lot cattier, and it was reminding me too much of why I stopped doing drag shows. So after the first 4 seasons, I bailed on that one. Full Metal Jacket is getting a 4K treatment this September. Okay. We get put into lockdown. I won't catch it. I'll still go out. Christopher Eccleston has announced, sorry, I can't leave the house. I'm not risking it. Do you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? I did the first 2.5 seasons. I can't remember if I finished season 3 or not. I bailed shortly after, God, I can't even remember the characters' names anymore. Shortly after their really good recurring villain was turned into Hive. Like, you took a really interesting character and made him immensely generic and boring, and now I don't care. Gets linked to your Discord. I heard. Sees the NSFW chat looking back and forth meme. Yeah. 300 is getting a 4K treatment in October. I mean, that's all well and good. I don't have a 4K TV. I don't really care. I don't. My friend Louisa will like this. Give us your best pickup line. I don't have a best pickup line because I don't use pickup lines. Because I'm too good for them. No, it's because I don't have the confidence to try and have a pickup line, and I find them too sleazy to even jokingly have a pickup line. So I'm an utter disappointment on that front, is what I am. You did drag. I need to find this on the internet. There's videos of me doing drag and burlesque on YouTube if you feel like hunting around a bit. Are you saying Showgirls was a documentary? I can't speak to that because I've done drag, I've done burlesque. I was never a stripper. And I've certainly never worked in Vegas, so cannot speak to that. There's only one specific song from Rocky Horror stuck in my head, and I love it, but I also hate it. Well, I suppose it depends on the song. This is a whole big either or this time around. Sweeney Todd or Into the Woods? Sweeney Todd. If you could make any episode of a Dr. Light episode that wasn't before, which one would you pick? Oh, that's easy. Crimson Horror. Have you seen the Brave New World miniseries? I have not. I don't even remember what it's on. Are you the devil because you're hot as hell? Cheeky. Do you listen to Big Finish Who often? Not as often as I would like to, like with most things that, you know, would theoretically be done just for pleasure. I don't have the time right now. I'm really trying to knuckle down and get the book moved forward. Have you ever watched crime, action, drama shows like Lost, Breaking Bad, Sons of Anarchy, Prison Break, etc.? I watched the first season of Lost, loved it. Heard so many divisive things after that and kind of liked the mystery. I'm like, I don't really care about the answers. I enjoyed that first season and I left it at that. I watched Breaking Bad. It's good. It's a little overpraised, but it's good. I have not seen Sons of Anarchy, have not seen Prison Break. It's a dice roll whether I ever get into that kind of stuff. Last night, watched a film from 2013 called Enemy. It's the kind of film that really requires a lot of complex analysis to interpret. That's the Denis Villeneuve movie, I'm assuming. I haven't seen that one. I think that's one of the few things he's directed that I haven't seen yet. You doing drag? Wow, never had you down as the racing type. Did you ever watch Heroes? If so, any thoughts? No, never watched it. Again, that was one that I missed the first season, and then everyone got mad at the second season. I'm like, oh, well, I just won't. I'll just skip it then. Looking forward to your Caretaker review. For me, it's a microcosm of what I didn't like about Series 8, so much time spent at Coal Hill School. I don't think it works as a microcosm of the problems with Series 8, because the problems with that episode are actually don't extrapolate out into the rest of the series. I mean, if you want to say too much time at Coal Hill, that's about the one thing, but certainly the problems that I have with the Caretaker, because spoiler alert, I don't exactly praise the episode in the review that's going to be coming out. My problems don't have to do with the school setting. It has to do with approach and characterization and things like that, and I'm not entirely sure that those are if that serves as a microcosm, at least for the problems that I have. How to Fix Brother Bear. I'd have to watch it first. Have you seen Hamilton on Disney Plus? Not only have I seen it, there's a review of me and my partner Liz up in the break room. So go check that out when we're done. So just a heads up with the questions. They are coming fast and furious. That's what I get for putting Q&A in the title. I am not promising that I will catch everybody's questions. If you want to guarantee that I catch your question, you need to do it as a super chat because these are going fast. And I might have to give up trying to keep up with them pretty soon. I'm kind of happy to report that the high school near me is letting kids back, but also offering online and mass for kids who don't have them. I don't want to talk about schools. I just really don't. I don't get the Hate for the Fly episode of Breaking Bad. It's one of my favorite ones. It's not a favorite, but it's fine. Did you ever watch Three's Company, and which person was your favorite? Mine was Jack. I have seen a little bit of Three's Company. And yeah, Jack was probably the most fun. Did you watch the 80s and 90s Beauty and Beast show? Oh, the one with Ron Perlman and Linda Hamilton. No, I've seen clips. How can you tell if someone's taking anabolic steroids? I have no idea. Ask a doctor. Say what you like about the first season of Umbrella Academy, but the fight scene in the donut shop was great. Well, the show in general has good fight scenes, but like, it takes a lot for an action beat to be what sells me, especially on a TV show. Do you do yoga? Nope. How soon do you think we will see Jack again? Midway through series 13, I expect. No question, just sent with love from Scotland. Oh, thank you, Amanda. I've just about sold my first after lockdown event, so sharing the good vibes. Oh, thank you very much. How are you doing personally, emotionally? You good? I'm doing okay. Yeah. The school thing's probably my own baggage. Was in high school when I saw it. I'm going to guess the problems you have are related to the doctor's issues with soldiers. That's not the only problem I have, but it's going to come up. Have you ever cried at Frankenfurter's death? I always do. No, because he's too deplorable a human. Well, not human, alien. But too much of what happens to him is brought on by him, and he's just too awful a person. And like, I love Frank. Don't get me wrong. Frank is an amazing character, but like, Frank's a terrible person. Like, really. I'm the person's sister who just hit him. My favorite character is Spike, not Riley. Oh, then you were absolutely correct to hit him. Yes, he deserved that. Have you ever seen the film Long Kiss Goodnight? I have. Not in a long dang time, but yeah. Oh, God. Tracy. Thank you. What, if any, nonfiction genres do you enjoy? I don't read nonfiction with any particular reliability. About as close as I come is usually autobiographical things, and then I'll usually do audiobook. Like, I like autobiographical works with a comedic tone to them. So, like, I've listened to Lewis Black's book on audiobook. I listened to Trevor Noah's autobiography on audiobook. And, you know, these things aren't necessarily comedic start to finish, but they're come at from a comedic angle. And that tends to be what I enjoy when it comes to nonfiction. I think maybe just because the real world is so often not fun and funny, I would prefer someone with a view that will make me laugh about it. Yoga is just stretching for pretentious people. Knowing some people who are super good at yoga, I'm going to disagree with you on that. Rocky Horror Picture Show or Little Shop of Horrors? Rocky Horror. My mother is in love with a popular sitcom on Netflix called Frank. It's Grace and Frankie, not Frankie and Grace, which should tell you that, yes, I'm aware of it. While not a bad show, I'm a little skeptical as to how it tackles serious topics. What about you? I've only seen about half of the first season. It seemed to be doing it pretty well, but I know there's a lot more seasons than that. Liz likes it, my partner. Is the 13th Doctor still a Hufflepuff after watching Series 12? Somebody, it might have even been you, Jamie. Somebody asked that in a comment today, and I didn't reply to it, partly because I don't want to think about Hogwarts houses right now. Um, just kind of don't. So, forgive me for passing on that. Have you seen The Stranger on Netflix? No, I actually have not even heard of that. Usually when long-lost siblings are introduced in TV shows and movies, things fall apart. Spectre, Sherlock, Fantastic Beasts. Have you ever seen this trope done well? I have one example. I would love to hear your one example. Because off the top of my head, no. Loki is a terrible person too, and I cried at his death. I didn't. Sorry. He is a horrible person, but it still makes me sad somehow. No, that's fair enough. I didn't say, it's not a reason that other people shouldn't cry. It's just the reason I don't. But everyone likes Spike. Yes. Yes, they do. Seeing as your reviews are coming up, I'll just say I actually don't mind Courtney as a character. I love her coming on the TARDIS with the cleaning stuff and wrist bracelets. You'll get to see my thoughts on her. For me, the caretaker feels a bit too Sarah Jane Adventures. One monster that can destroy the universe, defeated by a backflip and some jiggery pokery. Yeah, I mean, that's the trappings, and the problems with that run a bit deeper than that. What's your favorite Pixar movie? At this point, I don't know. It was Up for a while, but I still like Up. Inside Out, maybe? I find Pixar really overrated at this point. Not bad, just overrated. I released the 3rd episode of my audio series. Some people say it is too dark. They ain't seen nothing yet. Oh, dear. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to bring that up. It's okay. I know you didn't mean to. A thought that keeps me up at night is that what it must have felt like for all those who were affected when Thanos snapped his fingers. Discord. Yes, I have the Discord. I generally check the Discord at 45 minutes in. Knives Out sequel. Good or bad idea? Idea with potential. The only reason I'm cautious about it is because so much of what was great about that movie was not just the detective character played by Daniel Craig. And really, he's the only character who you could transplant to a new story. And while he's great, like, he's hardly the only good thing about it. So I do worry about being able to find a cast in a scenario that is going to bring as much out of it as that one did. Out for a walk, bitch. Let's see here. Team Captain America or Team Iron Man? Depends. Are we talking about the comics or the movies? Because the movie... if I was actually there and didn't have like the omnipotent audience view that we actually get, probably Team Iron Man. And the comics, neither. I'd hide in a bunker because they were both morons. Have you watched season 3 of Westworld? I did. And there are reviews up, but they're not on this channel. They're in the break room of Geeks. Because my Westworld videos didn't do particularly well, so I shifted those over there. I was not a huge fan of season 3, unfortunately. Favorite Danny Boyle movie? Oh, that one's tough. I feel like he's gotten an odd kind of backlash. I still actually really like Slumdog Millionaire. Sorry. Talking about Disney, thoughts on Disney Plus asking $30 for Mulan? Well, that's a standard amount for something that is of size debuting on a platform like that. That's not that far off from what Trolls World Tour ran. So anyone complaining about the price, I'm like, well, no, that's a totally viable price, and it makes sense because especially if they're doing this instead of a theatrical for all intents and purposes, that's actually a good deal for something like that. That's a family film. Because if you've got a kid, odds are $30 is what it would cost most parents to take their kids to the movies. That's before even talking about snacks. If they've got 2 kids, they're already ahead paying $30 to see the movie. I do have some thoughts on the possible ripple effects and how that might impact the overall industry, but I'm going to get to that at another time. I've seen The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel of Amazon Prime. I have not, largely because Liz tried watching it. She hates it. She cannot stand that show, and her describing it to me kind of put me off it a little bit. How to fix Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. You don't have to. There's nothing wrong with At World's End. That is an overhated movie. I love your water flask. Thank you. This actually just came in today. And if you go to my Teespring store, I have merch of this. Not that you would actually get this, but it's on shirts and stuff, and it says it has an image of this water, honest. So not only do I have this, I have merch to associate with it, because build your brand. That's part of trying to have this be my job, which I suppose it was the thing that I had kind of intended to mostly focus on, but the Q&A is all over the dang place. So maybe I'll sort of, now that we're about a third of the way in, sort of pause and talk about this. So I am making an effort to see if I can get things to where this is my job. Now, where I'm at right now, in terms of the Patreon support and what I usually get per month off of YouTube, it is actually covering my current bills. Barely, like skin of the teeth. So, first problem there is I'm lacking, I don't have the ability to build a safety net, so that's the first problem. But in addition to that, it's only covering my current expenses. When we get to the end of the year and I have to cover my taxes on things like the house and the income from things like Patreon, that what I'm making right now doesn't give me enough to cover my bills and afford to do that. So I am really focusing these next few months on trying to build what I have and get more streams of revenue in. And I do have hope, because I had expected a bump when I announced that I was laid off, but I didn't expect one as big as I got. And I also expected it to drop off the month after, like it was just going to be a temporary thing, but it hasn't. Like, there was a big initial spike, no question, but it hasn't now plateaued and dropped off. So I might be able to pull this off. It's going to be, I'm on a complete spending freeze right now for anything that is not essential, but might be able to pull this off. Ugh, feel really nervous putting that out into the world. How would you make a Doctor Who video game? Oh, I have no idea. I have no business talking video game design. The problem with doing a top 10 Pixar villains list would be having to talk about Hopper and his voice actor. I mean, it's anyone's personal thing, whether or not they feel the need to talk about that or how much. Who's your favorite member of the Umbrella Academy? Klaus. Is there a soft drink that is no longer around but you wish would make a resurgence of some kind? No, because I don't like soft drinks. Any of them. Never have. Have you played Fallout New Vegas? Nope. We have Eccleston back. Would you want to see Matt Smith or Peter Capaldi ever make a return in Big Finish? Yes, but I'm not as gung-ho. Not that I wouldn't like them to come back, but like I haven't missed them as much as I've missed Christopher Eccleston. So, you know, let's see. Sorry, where did I leave off? Sorry, lost the chat there for a second. Please take care of yourself. Drink lots of water. Get lots of rest. You're a joy to watch. Stay awesome. Don't worry. I've got plenty of water. That's good water. Do you watch South Park? Nope. Used to. Don't anymore. Have you ever seen the film Short Bus by John Cameron Mitchell? Probably one of the most enjoyable, if not best, LGBTQ films I've seen, but an NC-17. So, I haven't seen it yet. Couple of quick things. The first is, I'm probably due to try and watch Hedwig and the Angry Inch again. I tried a long time ago and got maybe 20 minutes into it. I'm like, I'm just not feeling this. Now, here's what's funny to me about Short Bus. It was filming in New York while I was living there, and I saw the posting for casting calls for that, and I almost went to try and audition to be in the thing. But no, I haven't seen it yet. I don't know if it's allowed in America, but when I go to the cinema, I just get packets of sweets from Poundland and take them in with me. Well, strictly speaking, it's not like a national law, but businesses are allowed to set their own rules, and pretty much all theaters in the U.S. say don't bring in outside food. Doesn't mean people don't. Of course they do. But you're not supposed to because they make way more money off the concessions than they do off the movie tickets. Would it be shilling if you were sponsored by Raycon for some of your videos? Look, I am not above shilling, but I'm not big enough for most of those places. That said, there will be a sponsored video later this month. So, like, I do still get sponsors every now and then, but, you know, it's sporadic. And getting sponsors will be easier if I can ever break 100,000 subscribers. That's a ways off, though. I'd just be happy to break 50 this year, but I'm not even sure that's going on. See, the thing is, when I'm trying to get it so this is my source of income, you know, this and my other creative endeavors, like the book and whatnot, I'm moving forward based on the assumption that my platform does not grow substantially, because it might, but I can't build a financial plan off of fingers crossed, I hope I get to a certain milestone of size and regular, you know, view size in the future and be dependent on that. I have to move forward using what I currently get reliably per month as my baseline, and assuming that that's what I'll get, what else can I do to move that forward? And so if that grows, and I've made a plan based on the assumption that it doesn't particularly much, then I'm really in good shape. We'll see. To be honest, I think all the Pirate sequels are unnecessarily hated films. I did not like the fourth one very much. I didn't watch the fifth one. Did you watch Stu Bagwell's interview with Rob Sherman? I started it, but it's long, so I haven't finished it yet. Sorry, wow, I'm afraid Louisa and Liz are now mortal enemies because she loves Miss Maisel. Favorite musical episodes of non-musical TV? I mean, it is still hard to beat the Buffy musical episode. Any fellow YouTubers that you want to work with? Quite a few, actually. A lot of the ones that I'd really like to work with, I would not know how to get in touch with in any real way. Like, most people have like a contact me thing, but like that doesn't get you anywhere. But like, I'd love to do something with somebody like Linkara. I think that would be a lot of fun. Especially given that 90s comics, which is a notoriously bad age, was the only time that I was regularly buying issues of comic books. So like something like that would be very fun. Jesse Gender and I are talking about doing a video collaboration. And it's funny that we haven't, because like she's contributed voice work to some of my videos. I've like appeared to do parts that she scripted for some of her videos, but we haven't actually collaborated from top to bottom on a project yet, but we're working on that. Do you watch The Boys? Nope, I do not. Would you ever want to interview Edgar Wright if given the chance? Well, sure. I don't know why he'd let me, but sure. I'm also quite offended. There was my invite to the winery. Where was the invite to the winery with you and Liz? No. The wineries, that's a personal thing. How do you do Big Finish review? I know you do Big Finish review, but have you listened to any Torchwood? And if so, what do you think? I purchased Aliens Among Us Part 1 the other day and listened to it all in one. It's fab. I have not listened to any of the Torchwood audios as yet. You can do that. Thank you. Oh, lots of words of encouragement. I do absolutely appreciate those. Okay, I'm losing the chat again. There we go. I've been doing YouTube on and off for years. How do you stay motivated to produce long-form edited content? I get bored way too easily. Practice. And at this moment in time, I don't have a lot else to do. Well, I have the book to edit, but procrastination. Oh yeah, I'd have thought Jafar would have been on your Disney villains list. Lots of people were shocked that he wasn't included. And like always, not putting him on my best list does not mean I don't like Jafar. I like Jafar fine, but like I don't know, maybe it's because I grew up in the 90s. In my mind, he's kind of standard. There isn't a lot about him that stands out to me aside from his sidekick. Now, if I was ranking villain double acts, he and Iago would make that list, but by himself, he is fine. Aside from removing the questionably transphobic character, how would you fix Con Air? You don't have to fix Con Air. Con Air is supposed to be stupid. Fixing it would actually break it. It's working as intended. Which show made you rage quit? I don't think I've ever rage quit a show. I've dropped off. I've had times where I've gone like, okay, I'm just gonna take a breather and just never came back. That's basically what happened with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't remember ever rage quitting a show. No. Still loving my Doctor Who fob watching necklace. Do you like the Elder Scrolls series? I've only ever played a little bit of Skyrim, and it seemed fine, but it's the kind of thing that I almost never, I almost never sink the amount of time into it that you need to fully appreciate it. Do you agree that Lego Batman, the video game, is a masterpiece? Masterpiece? No. Fun? Yes. Played that one with my kid, actually. Which doctor do you think would be most likely to start a YouTube channel? Ooh. Probably 13. Have you heard of the musical Dear Evan Hansen? Yes, but only because Spotify keeps trying to suggest me tracks from it. Almost every time I've gone to a theater, I brought in outside food, still have yet to get caught. I mean, like, it's pretty rare that they check bags, so, like, you have to be really blatant to get caught. But even in that case, most people end up getting at least a soda, or if you want popcorn, most people aren't going to bring that in. Having seen Short Bus, that would have been interesting. Oh, yes, I've heard. Do you watch Arrow and other CW shows? And if so, what did you think of Crisis? I don't watch Arrow. I watch Legends of Tomorrow. And Crisis was good, except for the episodes that focused on Ollie, because I don't like this version of Ollie, especially. So Crisis started well, ended pretty well. There were a few episodes in the middle where it kind of disappeared up its own butt, being all self-congratulatory and being a big celebration of Ollie. And like, I get it, like his show started the thing, but like, because I don't like him, I don't care. Sorry. Do you know anywhere you can watch Classic Who episodes? Yes, BritBox. It is a subscription service, not a particularly expensive one. Did you ever play that Pirates of the Caribbean MMORPG from 2014? No, I don't play MMORPGs. I've never played MMORPGs. I would lose track of my life. Well, you can always collab with me. Pitch me an idea. Who's your favorite member of the Umbrella Academy? Klaus, I said. James Goss, the manager of Time Lord Victoria, said the BBC told him they wanted to do the project, then handed it to him. I think it might tie into Chibnall's 5-year plan of the show. I doubt it. I very seriously doubt it. I don't know why, just intuition tells me no. My intuition more often than not is that things are never going to be tied together as intricately as fans imagine they will be. Like, I learned that from Marvel, with people being like, oh, and they'll bring in these things from the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show, or this thing from the supporting shorts that they did. And I'm like, no, they won't. And they didn't. What are your thoughts on Glee? Don't like it. That is my thought. I was curious to watch some of Joel Schumacher's better films since learning he passed away in June. Didn't get into Lost Boys so much, but shame not more know about Phone Booth. Phone Booth is a very good movie. And I like Lost Boys. I find Lost Boys to be quite fun. Falling Down is another one. If you want a better version of Joker, watch Falling Down. That's right, I said it. You're gonna have to update the channel logo in the credits. I have, but a lot of the things coming out were edited prior to my having done that update. So you're still gonna see the outdated logo in a couple of videos, but I have already done that. The best Disney villain is Bethesda. They even have a song. Oh dear. My sister just came back in. Tell her to stop nicking my vape. How about you both just stop vaping? Sorry, I don't get the appeal. Have you ever had a mimosa? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Not too often these days, though, because Liz created by accident my preference to a mimosa. It is something that she has dubbed berry nonsense. It is Moscato and sort of like a pink lemonade and hard cider and champagne, and I'm probably forgetting something else that's in there, and fresh berries floating in the top, and it's flippin' amazing. I know it's hard to get hold of, but have you ever read the Human Nature novel? No, I have not. What are your thoughts on Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist? It is a title I have heard before. That is my thought. Did you like... Oh, dang it. I don't know why this thing keeps jumping down to the bottom when I'm trying to hold it up higher up. Did you like how Crisis wrote off 90s Flash? Yeah, I thought that was kind of sweet. It's fine. I wasn't a huge fan of Crisis either, and The Flash is my favorite out of the Arrowverse. I did 2 seasons of The Flash, and after that I was so annoyed with Barry as a lead, I'm just like, I can't anymore. Just for clarification, I assume you don't like Arrow the character, but okay with Stephen Amell. Stephen Amell's a guy. He's fine. I don't like the characterization of this version of Ollie. It's not about performance, it's about how he's written. He's a douche. And he's a douche in the comics too, but that's why I like him in things like Justice League, where he shows up as a side character. He's not the kind of person I want to follow. You need an FAQ. Yeah, that might save me some time. Do you watch The Simpsons? Not currently, but I have in the past. How much proof is your water? Take a guess. Who would you cast for the Doctor next? One male and female suggestion, please. I mean, I did a whole video on people who I would like to see play the Doctor, so watch that after we're done here. Do you feel like Vanya was Dark Phoenix done right? No, I feel like Dark Phoenix was Dark Phoenix done right. But when I say that, I mean the comic book. Vanya was Dark Phoenix done better than either of the movie versions we've seen Dark Phoenix done, but that doesn't mean I like Vanya's arc in season 1, because I actually don't. You should definitely check out this other channel and subscribe. It's definitely not my other channel where I put all my professional work. What's your favorite cheese? More seriously, thoughts on Kamala Harris? So generally sharp cheddar, like extra sharp cheddar. Like cheddar so sharp it turns most people off. That's my cheese of choice. Kamala Harris, I think, is a solid pick. I mean, we've known for a while that Biden was going to pick a woman. I didn't want Warren, not that I don't like Warren, but I wanted somebody younger than that to be the supporting person on his ticket, and I think she was a good fit for him. I think she'll do a lot to counterbalance some of his weaker areas, at least in terms of appealing to the left, to help ensure that the Democratic base actually comes out and votes, because boy, I don't mean to talk about politics, but this was actually super chat, so I feel like I've been financially empowered to talk politics for a hot minute. When it was clear that Biden was going to get the nomination, I had flashbacks to Kerry challenging George W. Bush at his second term. Now, George W. Bush was not popular at that point, and it should not have been that hard for the Democrats to beat him. The thing is, Kerry was so milquetoast and so unengaging and so boring, unimpressive. Nobody could get excited about Kerry. And I do think that's a big part of why they lost. And I was getting that feel off of Biden being nominated. Felt like the most boring, middle-of-the-road possible choice. So I think having someone like Kamala Harris on the ticket will not do everything, but do something to alleviate that a little bit. We'll see. Black Widow or Agent Peggy Carter? Black Widow, generally speaking. Do you like Bahama Mamas? I think I've had a Bahama Mama. It's been a long time. I don't remember off the top of my head. Do you think they'll use any returning villains for the Ninth Doctor's Big Finish adventure? If so, which ones? I doubt it. Largely because most of the returning villains, when they showed up again in New Who, it was treated as like the first time having seen them in a long, long time. So if they did, they'd have to pick somebody who hasn't been reintroduced into New Who. So if they wanted to bring back, I don't know, the Draconians, or heck, bring back Omega. Big Finish has worked with Omega a couple of times, so they could bring him back. But I would not expect him to. He can't run into the Daleks because he thinks the Daleks are dead when he sees one in Series 1. I suppose Cybermen are possible. I guess there isn't really a reason it couldn't be the Cybermen. I definitely wouldn't want them to overload it with returning villains, though. That berry nonsense drink sounds good. I love a mimosa too. It's good stuff. Have you ever been to Wales? Home to all of New Who? I have not. I've been to London. That is the extent of my visit to England. I had my honeymoon there for a week. I remember saying Scott and Ramona should not have stayed together in Scott Pilgrim versus the World. There was actually a filmed alternate ending where they didn't. And they shouldn't have. It's not to say they should never have gotten together, but at that point in their lives, no, they absolutely shouldn't have. They needed to both learn how to be single and deal with their friggin' damage. The actor who plays Klaus plays a similar character on a show called Misfits. It's also a dark yet ridiculous superhero show, only it was young adults on community service. I did hear about that. I know it's a couple years old, but what did you think of the Batgirl Batman scene in The Killing Joke? This is what I thought of that. Tangled or Frozen? I prefer Frozen. Silly question, but do you prefer your water hot or cold? Room temperature. I just got home from a bike ride. Sorry I'm late. No worries. My first live stream. Oh God, they answered my question. I'm so happy I could cry another year later. Oh, hey, Nathaniel. Yeah, see, it's nice to have regulars. Oh, hey, Jesse. Didn't see you pop in. You know if you had a Bahama mama. Let's see. Biden wasn't my first pick, but I'm going to vote for him happily. Yeah. Forgetting the time period, and while I definitely don't agree with what he did, I kind of understand where the husband in Umbrella Academy Season 2 was so annoyed. Like, I guess, but also, to hell with that guy. Eccleston could meet the Sontarans, I guess. Yeah, I suppose so. No real reason why not. Oh, time to check the Discord. Thank you, Carolyn. So, and this is your regular reminder that the Discord is a Patreon exclusive perk. So if you would like access to the Discord, then you can pop on over to the Patreon. I would say that asking questions gets a guaranteed answer, except I try and keep up with that anyway. I should get worse. I should get worse at keeping up with the questions in the chat so that it would incentivize people to get on the Discord so that their questions would actually get answered. Except I would feel like an ass if I did that. See, this is part of why I'm not doing better at YouTubing. Does the holding photo mean there's special water at play this evening? Well, yes. I hope this question isn't too much of a downer, but it's been on my mind. Oh boy. I'd like to revisit Universal Studios in future as I want to go on the rides, but I think I'd feel guilty about it knowing part of the price of the ticket would go towards the Harry Potter sections of whichever park I was visiting, even if I don't visit those themed areas in person. What do you think? There are certain things that it's one thing removed. So, like, the Harry Potter portions of Universal Studios aren't a separate thing. It's part of the whole same deal. So you can't really take in one without doing the other. And in the case of something like that, whether or not they're going to continue to maintain that licensing deal is going to be determined by the foot traffic in that section. And they've already paid whatever they're paying for how many years of licensing that they've got on it. So if you buy a ticket to Universal Studios and don't go to that portion of the park, you're not really contributing. Like, technically you are, because your ticket goes to the business that did the licensing deal and so forth. But whether or not they continue to maintain that part of the park is going to depend on the foot traffic in that specific part of the park. So if you're not contributing to that, I would say you're fine. Totally water in that flask. Oh, wouldn't you like to know? When and how did you start to raise income from YouTube? I kind of assume you started just uploading for fun, etc. I did start uploading for fun, but I mean, I also started uploading long enough ago that it was before all the milestones that you had to hit before you could be monetized. So I was monetized from the very beginning. I had no hope of having this be my job until fairly recently. But like, I've been getting paid from YouTube since about a year into it. And the only reason I say that is, like, again, I didn't have to hit milestones to start getting paid. But the way YouTube monetization works is if you have not generated at least $100 in revenue, then they pool that money, roll it over to the next month until you've accumulated enough to cumulatively be $100, because that's the minimum payout that they'll do. So it took me about a year year and a half maybe before I got paid for the first time. The husband in Umbrella Academy, you mean Allison's husband? What's wrong with him? No, we were talking about Carl, I think was his name. No, you were thinking about the wrong husband, little sister. What's your opinion on the Watchmen show? My opinion is I need to see it. Was there anybody that you wanted to be the Democratic nominee? I wasn't all in on anyone, but I did like Kamala Harris better than Biden. I liked Cory Booker. I do like Bernie, but I'm also from Vermont, so that's almost kind of a given. I'll tell you what, though. I hope we never see Mayor Pete again, like ever. I don't want him to run. I don't want him to run for dog catcher. He can go away forever. Oh yeah, to hell with Carl. Yeah, see, there you go. We're on the same page now. Hold on, folks. Somebody's typing in a question to the Discord as I'm here, and after that, I will pop on back over. See how long this takes to get typed. Don't worry, I'm not going to say your name or who you are, but you know, it's either a long question or the thing's slow to put it through. And now it doesn't say you're typing anymore. I'm gonna head back, I think. Oh, wait, typing again. Okay, I think you scared them away. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to tease and scare anybody away. Sorry, I was trying to stall. I was trying to stall for time. Was all that I was trying to do. Oh heck, I can't believe I didn't think of this earlier. Oh, hey pup. Oh God, now they're both typing now. Been typing in the live chat like a peasant. Yeah, see? You had access to something finer. Every live stream, I'm going to recommend the comic series Deceased. Isn't it just the DC equivalent of Marvel Zombies, though? Okay, I'm popping on back to the chat. Do you want a new TARDIS team for 9, or do you want Rose and Jack? For me, I prefer the latter. What I would like them to do, I would like to have the first box set be the Ninth Doctor before encountering Rose, and then later box sets to have Rose and then Rose and Jack. I'd like them to jump between times there. Just finished watching Life on Mars with John Sim and loved it. Have you seen it? I have not. Where did I leave off? What modern slang has caught you the most off guard, either in meaning context or actual words? Like that kind of thing does throw me off depending on where it shows up, but I'm having a hard time thinking of the best example. How to Fix Neverending Story 2 and 3. I've only seen 2. I do know 3 exists though. It's got Jack Black in it. I'm trying to make YouTube videos. What kind of mic are you using? Sorry, blank question, I guess. At present, I have a Blue Yeti, which I actually need to replace because the cord got caught in the vacuum cleaner. But that's what I had been using recently. Prior to that, I had a Rode VidMic. Well, I still have a Rode VidMic, which is good, but it's a pain in my butt because it's got an auto gain that I can't turn off, so that's a pain in the butt. Have you seen Ghostlight? I have, but I have not rewatched it in a while. I remember just being confused by it. What was the factor that made you dislike Glee? Just the vibe. And also, I think the fact that I found out that there was an episode called An Asian F about an Asian character getting something other than an A. I think the minute I read that, I was like, oh God, no. Just no. Who would have been a good choice for the Master for the Ninth Doctor? Oh, that is a good question. And that's the kind of question I would have to think about. So, I don't know. You've only been to London. You need to come down to Yorkshire. You think you like a drink? Oof. Yes, I've heard that. Let's see. Ooh, I'm almost caught up on questions. Yay! You say Blue Yeti, I think the drink tumblers. Have you read the Witcher books or seen the show or played the game? No, no, no. I just got season 14 on Blu-ray earlier this week. Oh, nice. Was there ever a webcomic you were into? Which, yes, I was into, and I actually would like to get back into Sluggy Freelance. I'm hoping somebody in the chat recognizes this and knows who this is. I doubt it, but Sluggy Freelance was very much my jam for a long time. Now I'm knocking over stuff, trying to put it back. Dang thing, get back, and you go there. No! Gotta have to fix that later. What's your favorite food? Homemade macaroni and cheese. Eddie Izzard for Eccleston's Master. He would have worked. My current favorite Doctor pair would be 8 and 13. I think they would work so well. That would be interesting to see. You should do a video of Masters for Doctors that never had Masters. I feel like that might be too deep a cut. I mean, maybe. I'd think about it. Favorite Weird Al song? Probably Yoda. You can only choose one. What did I miss or You'll Be Back? Oh, You'll Be Back. Oh, where did... Oh, God, everything got knocked down. Oy. You'll be back. Wait and see. Sorry, this is bugging me because it's in the corner of my eye. So I'm trying to put this back. And I cannot sing any more of that song, even in jest, because I've lost monetization on these things before because of singing a song that I don't have the rights to. All right. Deceased is somewhat compared to Marvel Zombies, but it doesn't get as ridiculous. Deals greatly with Superman and comes up with interesting ways characters would use their power. I mean, the part of the thing is I'm not as into DC as I am Marvel anyway, so if it depends on prior knowledge of the characters, I might be in the dark anyways. Some people cuddle teddies at night. I have a statue of the Grim Reaper watching me while I sleep. Aww, that's sweet. Which Doctor do you think is the best singer? My money's on Pertwee. I don't know. I feel like Tennant could probably carry a tune. How much you want to bet I'm wrong about that, though? Have you any history with writing fanfic? With what, if so? No. I've never written fanfic. Let's see. Unpopular opinion, I did not hate Jared Leto's Joker. That is an unpopular opinion. To be honest, I'm a little annoyed that the 11th Doctor never encountered the Master in the show. I'm sure he would have if he stayed for more than a series, but I do think Davies made a very good call, only introducing one major past villain per series. So series 1 we got the Daleks, series 2 the Cybermen, series 3 was the Master, series 4 was when we got the Sontarans back. So I like that he spaced those out, because if Eccleston had ever encountered the Master, that means we would have had the Daleks and the Master in the same 13 episode series. I think that would have been overcrowding. Not to mention, when you do that video, Big Finish will have a master cast for each of those Doctors. Yeah, that's also possibly true. What would you want out of, what would you want the next Out of Time CDs to be? So which Doctor pairing, which monsters should these Doctors face? I don't know, I haven't thought about that one. Speaking of Glee, did you hear about Leia Michelle? No, what'd she do now? I think 9 shouldn't have had the Master because he still needs to think the Time Lords are dead. Yes, there's that too. Let's see. Where was I? Okay. Is that Disney Sum Sum? No, that was not a Sum Sum. That was Bun Bun is what that was. Creamy mac and cheese or baked? Baked. Are you into anime? A little, not deeply. What are your thoughts on Suicide Squad? Now that's a movie that's on my list to consider for how to fix. You know what's really depressing? This channel, the one I'm using now, has more subscribers than the one I put genuine effort into. That is not uncommon. Like, none of the videos I put the most time and work into are my most viewed videos. I can name you 3 videos that I put back-breaking amounts of time into. The video that I did on Cowboy Bebop, the video I did on Lego Movie 2, the video I did on Ghostbusters 2. Those were by far my heaviest workloads in terms of planning, editing, the works. Low views, all 3 of them. If you could, would you have Matt stay for Series 8 and have Capaldi be Series 9 through 11? Personally, I would. I guess I'm not sure in my head what the benefit would have been for that. Frozen or Moana? Moana. I do like Moana better than Frozen. I predict the final episode Chibnall writes will have the return of the sex cloud from day 1. Oh, God. Would be the regeneration the Doctor would look back on most fondly. Oh, God, I hate day 1 so much. That almost made me rage quit a show. You should hear Tennant's rendition of Sunshine on Leith from Children in Need. Does it seem reasonable to make a treatise on how any given work is merely disappointing and then dedicate over 140p to it, even if the opinion is warranted? Is that overkill? I'm not sure I'm totally following your question. Is this about H-Bomber Guy's thing on Ruby that you're talking about? Is it overkill? I mean, maybe, but if that's how many thoughts you have on the thing, and that's how long it takes you to explore all those thoughts fully, then, you know, it is however long it is. Which movie are you most looking forward to watching, Tenet or Dune? I am more curious about Dune than I am Tenet, but I want to see both. Probably the most awkward question you'll get, yeah, right. Twilight or 50 Shades of Grey? It depends on whether you are asking about genuine quality or camp value. Because 50 Shades of Grey is a goddamn riot if you do not think about it for more than a second. Because if you do, then it is horrifying. What Ninth Doctor stories do you want in his big finish? I have no idea. I'm not a good person to ask to do speculation. I want to see is my answer, or hear, rather. I heard a rumor. Oh, did you now? The benefit would be that Eleven got to face the Master Missy, and I think they would play well off each other. I don't know. Missy seems so perfect for Capaldi. For me, anyways. I heard a rumor that you subscribed to me. Oh, I saw where you were going. Oh. Any upcoming Classic Who reviews? Yes. It was voted on by the Patreon. Plug that again. By the Patreon supporters that I'm going to be looking at the greatest show in the galaxy this month. And that review will go up in the break room. Let's see. Favorite Big Finish companion. Big Finish exclusive, so no Frobisher. Evelyn Smythe. Gremlins 2 is an underrated masterpiece. Yes! Yes! Yes, it is. Oh, that movie's so fun. I love it. That's my trash. What's your opinion on Hitchhiker's Guide? Oh, dang it. There it goes. What's your opinion on Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy TV show from the 80s? I'm considering watching it. It's super dated visually. Other than that, it's fine. Personally, couldn't get into Ruby. I never even tried getting into Ruby. What is your favorite New Who episode featuring Unit? Probably the Sontaran two-parter. What's your favorite Christopher Nolan film? The Prestige. The big moment in Little Mermaid that you always cry at was a last-minute addition. Well then, thank goodness for last-minute additions. Additions? I can talk. Let's hydrate. I hope the Ruth Doctor isn't a pre-Hartnell Doctor, is actually the 14th Doctor, and retcon the Timeless Child as... That was an awful addition to the lore. Thoughts? I don't want them to retcon the Timeless Child. Let Chibnall do whatever the hell it is he's gonna do with it, and then I don't want it ever addressed ever again. Once Chibnall does whatever it is he's planning to do with that idea, we'll see it play out, but then leave it alone. I don't want it retconned. I just want future showrunners to ignore it. Just don't talk about it. That is my preferred way to deal with bad plot turns. Very rarely do I feel that a retcon is actually necessary. I feel you're usually better just moving forward and ignoring it. Because the minute you start retconning it, then you make it the focus of what you're doing again. You're bringing the bad thing up again, even if you're trying to fix it. I'm not going to say no retcons have ever worked in the history of long-form storytelling, but generally I'm not in favor of them. And not because, like, I'm thinking, you can't change the... Not like that, but just like... I feel like they're a waste of time more often than not. That said, I would like Joe Martin to just be the next Doctor. I would just like that. Whether it turns out we met a pre-Hartnell one or not, fine, have her cycle back and use that face again. I would like her to be the next Doctor, regardless. At least Twilight had Michael Sheen, a.k.a. the only great thing about those movies. I would argue the entire climax of Breaking Dawn Part 2 is amazing. Like, in the stupidest way. But it's incredible. Yeah, I've seen the film... Oh, dang it. I've lost track of the thing. I've seen the film theory video on 50 Shades of Grey. Yikes. I haven't seen Film Theory's video. I have, however, seen Folding Ideas, 3 videos on them. I've seen Dominic Noble's 9 videos on them. Yeah. Do you consider yourself to be part of BreadTube? You might have been asked this before, I don't know. I don't think I am, just because the videos that I make that would fit under that heading, like my LGBTQ stuff, are such a relatively small percentage of what I do. Like, I do those videos, I go out of my way to do those videos once a month, and I'll talk about them more often if something comes up. And I'm in that mindset, certainly, but I feel like what I do, that might not be enough of a focus of what I do. Then again, I don't know. I don't know what qualifies you as a BreadTuber. Also, like, my perception of that question is thrown off because all the BreadTube people that I follow are all huge by my standards. Like, Lindsay Ellis and PhilosophyTube and ContraPoints and H-Bomber Guy, and they're massive. So, like, even thinking of myself in that context makes me go, no, I can't be. I guess that's why I feel comfortable being called a Who-tuber, because, like, that I'm more in keeping subscriber-wise with the size of that community. What are your thoughts on Pocahontas? I haven't seen it all the way through still. A good anime to start is Haikyuu. It's on Netflix. I don't really need a starter. I have seen some animes. I just haven't got into that many. Do you like any webcomics? Not currently. Greatest Show in the Galaxy depressed me. It's good, but I don't want to rewatch it. Well, we'll see what I think of it. Have you seen the second Doctor story, The Mind Robber? I have. It's been a long time, though. I need to rewatch that one. Oh boy, Greatest Show in the Galaxy is probably, next to Sutek, my favorite one-off villain. Ooh. Do you think Big Finish should publish novelizations of audios for deaf, hard of hearing people? Ooh, I had never thought of that. Broadly speaking, philosophically, yes. Whether or not that works with their business model, I don't know, because they themselves are not a publisher. So they would have to partner with somebody else, and they would risk cutting into their own revenue stream, because it would not only be, hard of hearing or deaf people who would bought those. There would be some people who would prefer those over the audio, and because they would have to split that revenue with whoever they get to actually print and publish the darn things, that means they would be getting less per sale for anyone who made the personal choice to jump from the audio to the novels. So I don't expect them to ever do that, but philosophically, that's a sound idea. Have you read the graphic novel V for Vendetta? If so, what did you think of it? I have. It's been a long time, though. So I remember liking it, but it's been a while. One of the guys who voiced a character on my audio series sent me a massive hate message because I let the bad guys win. Ooh, ouch. When your own cast rebels, that's something. Drunk review on Twilight and 50 Shades movies. Somebody wants to pay me to do it, I will. Watched Arachnids in the UK again today, and I really enjoyed it. Okay. It's funny, and everyone had good character beats. Why don't people like it? Also, I enjoyed Orphan 55. Orphan 55, I honestly think, is just a structural mess. And then for Arachnids in the UK, my big problem was Chris Noth's character. I hated that character. Absolutely despised him. What's better, the Spider-Man Clone Saga or the Timeless Child? So the execution of the concept, the Timeless Child, is better. The core idea, the Clone Saga, is better. What Disney villain would you most like to see in another Disney villain's role? Seriously or as a joke? Oh, that's such an odd question. I'm having trouble making heads or tails of it. I guess, you know what might be fun would be to see somebody like Hades taking on the role of Jafar. Where are we at the Doctor in Distress video? Oh, God, yeah, I still need to do that. If you have to think about it, you're not a bread tuber. Is that the criteria? Really? I mean, I know, like, on the BreadTube Reddit, they've linked to my videos a couple times. They've been ignored when that's happened, but, you know, whatever. I really want to get into the Earthsea books after Dominic Noble's video on Le Guin. I've read one of them. I've read Tombs of Atuan. I read that in college, so again, long time ago. Pizza Hut, Domino's, or Papa John's? Domino's, by default. The guy who, well, I don't know if he still owns it, but the guy who started Papa John's is a raging dickhead. And Pizza Hut does not agree with me at all. It's too dang greasy. I live in America, but my high school principal has a British accent, and just from hearing 2 voicemails from him, I was able to place his accent as Manchester, just like Eccleston. Nice. If The Greatest Showman was going to be a show on Broadway, would you go see it? I don't know. Probably not. I'm not a huge fan of Broadway adaptations of films, honestly. And I've seen one of the better ones. I've seen Spam-A-Lot, and I liked it well enough, but it wasn't amazing. We can get you to BreadTube level if you do the Doctor in Distress video. Oh boy, you people want me to suffer. Do or have you watched Modern Family? If so, thoughts? I used to watch Modern Family. I don't anymore. I didn't make a decision to stop watching. I just didn't keep up with it. And I liked it. It was nice. It was a sweet show. Number 1 missing story from Doctor Who that you want to see restored? 10th Planet. Which wedding would be more awkward, Luther and Allison or number 5 and Dolores? Luther and Allison. I honestly think it would still be more awkward. Could they include the textual copy of the Big Finish audios on the CDs? Maybe, but then that's going to up their production cost. So it's going to jack up the prices of the physical media, which is already significantly more expensive than the digital version anyway. I need to wrap this up soon. Tim Shaw is the timeless child. Ugh, I wish. Drunk review of the Romer Troll 2. Ugh. I don't know about that. But the problem is, I generally don't go for so bad it's good. Like for me, it's just so bad it's bad. I don't get why the comics try to do photorealistic drawings instead of doing drawings in the essence of them. I agree. I hate photo-referenced art. God, drives me nuts. What, in your opinion, is the most underrated Doctor Who episode of Modern Who? Most underrated, for my tastes, I might give it to Robot of Sherwood. I also don't know where the overall opinion stands right now on Can You Hear Me? I know it was very divided when that episode aired. I don't know if it's settled one direction or the other. So depending on where popular opinion finally landed on that, I might say that one. I do need to wrap up soon. What person in Doctor Who do you wish was a companion? For me in Big Finish, I wish they made D.I. Patricia Menzies a Sixth Doctor companion, and New Who Rita from the God Complex. Rita would have been good. Honestly, Perkins, the engineer from Mummy and the Orient Express. He would have been a great companion. I've just started a rewatch of Trial of the Time Lord, thinking of threatening a commission. Actually better than Sixth first season. Still haven't seen Trial of the Time Lord. Ugh. I was watching a YouTube called Nightwing 1, and he was saying about DC Comic layoffs. Are you worried that a chunk of characters may stop getting comics made for them? I don't have as much of a stake, like personally, emotionally, in DC. Good grief. As I do with Marvel, so like that happens anyway. DC's notorious for canceling books, even ones that are doing perfectly fine. So I don't know. It's just kind of the way the business is. I was able to be in spam a lot freshman year of high school. Black Knight and Tim the Enchanter, my two faves. Nice. There are those who call me Tim. Let's see. Film adaptations of Broadway shows. Into the Woods. There's 2 hours of my life I'm never getting back. Into the Woods, the film version, is one of my go-to examples of failing to properly tailor something to its new medium. Remember, you don't have to watch it, you have to sing it. Double money if Liz joins in. The Secret of Nim, An American Tale, Land Before Time, or All Dogs Go to Heaven. The Secret of Nim would be my preference out of those choices. Would Luther and Allison's wedding be as awkward as Barry and Iris's wedding was? They're also foster siblings. I don't know, I didn't see how that wedding went. Probably on par. Drunk review of Birdemic. Ugh. Favorite John Hughes movie? Breakfast Club. Only one that's aged well. Well, no. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles hasn't aged horribly. But most John Hughes has not aged well. Most overhated episode of New Who? I don't know. Most of the ones that are hated with a decent reason. Honestly, off the top of my head, Doctor and the Widow and the Wardrobe. It's not great, but it's not awful. I like Madge. I have a ranked list of every Doctor Who episode. I made it a few years ago and update it regularly. Am I crazy? I did the same for Torchwood. I mean, it's something some people do. It's not something I do, but 2 videos I'm still waiting for. Gallivant review, working on it. Big Finish Audio, The Marion Conspiracy. I could have sworn that I did The Marion Conspiracy. Okay. Like, you've got me paranoid now. Give me a second. Give me a second on that. Yeah, I did The Marion Conspiracy. March 17th, 2019. I did that one. Don't do that to me. Don't mess with me when I've been drinking water. Whew. But yes, the Gallivant review, that's hopefully, maybe next month, more likely the month after. That one's going to be a big haul edit job. Saw Spamalot in the UK, and You Won't Succeed on Broadway song doesn't work as they changed it to be about generic celebrities. I don't remember that song specifically. Would you rather have Frobisher established in the show or Omega return? Omega, just because I would hate to see certain stripe of Doctor Who fandom go, oh, this is so stupid when Frobisher shows up. Would you want to see Maisie Williams, the Shielder, me come back? If so, with Clara or on her own? If she ever comes back, I do not want it to be with Clara. I don't really want her to come back at this point. Did you read Dark Knight's Metal? Nope. A weird question, but how dark were your kids' shows? Because we had a show where kids were trapped in a tower forever, and it was amazing. The sorts of shows I watched as a kid were only dark if you stopped and thought about it. Like, the real Ghostbusters is kind of dark, but only if you stop and think about it. Like the fact that these are dead people that they're capturing. Have you seen The Swarm with Michael Caine? Nope. Drunken rant review of Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Oh, God. You would have to pay me to watch that movie again. I would have to bleep so much of a review video for Ferris Bueller's Day Off. God, I hate it. Which Time Lord would you like to see come back in the new series? None! None. Leave it at 1. It worked well at 1. Leave it alone. Thank you. Watching Joe West's speech as he tried desperately to not mention that he was both the bride and the groom's dad was rather painful. Ugh. Do you like classic rock? Some of it. I have an Excel spreadsheet for all my Doctor Who reviews. Yeah, fair. You did indeed review the Marion Conspiracy. Thank you. You're funny when you're drunk. I'm not drunk. I'm hydrated. Would you be on board for a big finish set of Luke, Ronnie, and Clyde from Sarah Jane Adventures? I'd support them making it. I wouldn't personally buy it. The raspy Vera's back. It's when I get frustrated, isn't it? I get the gravel in the voice. How much for Ferris Bueller? Interested now? I wouldn't charge you more. I would charge you the standard $60 because it's just the one movie. Out of spite, I would like to charge more, but I'm not going to be that bitter. I'm guessing at this point you're probably wrapping up. Hopefully this wonderful thing you do become your job soon. The most inspiring word of all. McCavity! Very nice. Do you like Segun Akinola? I love Murray Gold so much, but Akinola's not bad. I've gotten used to the new music. Drunk review of 16 Candles. I've actually never seen 16 Candles. So that would be a fresh perspective. If you were commissioned for a review where you'd likely do a lot of swearing, would it be twice the price given the extra work that involved? Ooh, I should make it that. No, I wouldn't though. Oh, come on, you couldn't get spiteful at me. I can. Trying not to, but I can. Sorry for making you worry. I genuinely didn't get the notification and didn't see it when I checked. Favorite TARDIS team? I go back and forth between 10 and Donna and 7 and Ace. And I do need to wrap it up because I've actually caught up on the questions. What if there's an episode where 13 turns into a werewolf? What, does she get bitten by Queen Victoria? Okay. Sorry I'm late. Oh, Thomas, you're just in time for me to finish. Where does Bill rank in terms of your companions? I have a companion ranking. It doesn't have the current companions on it, but Bill's on there. She's high. I like her quite a bit. So, thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you for those who did super chat. Thank you for those who asked questions. Thank you for those who just sat back and listened to me ramble. Thank you for all of you, because, I mean, right now, this is my job by default, because this is what I'm doing, but we've got a shot at this being what I do. And that is amazing, if we can get there. Fingers crossed. We will see. But thanks all the same, and please remember that you are beautiful, you are valid, you are loved. You are the council. I just run the meetings, and until next time, this council is McCavity!